Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Breeze. As usual, I'm your friendly neighborhood Soda Kruger, and once again, joined by my co host, Ben Rayner. How are you doing?
Doing good. This is going to be a fun one. Fun.
This is going to be a fun one, and this came about because Ben is doing one of those 100 movies in 100 days. And which movie was it that you just watched recently that gave you the idea?
I watched a bunch of them on basically Friday the 13th, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
Okay. Before we start, what did you think? Because I know you are not really much for horror films.
I, it's funny with this little project I'm doing. And I really came up with it on my own. I don't know. I didn't want to test my strength, so to speak, and I figured, what the hell? I might, if not now, when? And I'm enjoying most of them, man. And
But I mean, the horror specific ones, like have they maybe has there been an interest, maybe like say Friday the 13th, watch 2, and then maybe 3?
yeah, I might do on 2 and 3 now. Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, if I could find it.
It's not, they're not streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked yet, but
Gotcha. I was gonna say if we live near each other, I'd just lend you the sets. I
but
have all of them.
as of right now, I don't have a Blu-ray player in my house anywhere.
Really?
Really, they're all streaming right now.
You don't even have like an Xbox or PlayStation, nothing like that?
Nothing I could hook up. It's
Wow.
all digital.
Wow. Okay. That's
So,
Ben Rayner from the 23rd and a half century. Jeez.
nanu.
Yeah, shut up. Mm. So yes, and I am myself. I have a sordid history with slasher films, and I'm sure you've heard me say on this before how I watched Chucky at age 3. But I love when it comes to the horror genre in general, I do prefer slasher films because I kind of like the fun horror. Um, for the most part, like psychological horror has never really done it for me. Like there's been a few that I've enjoyed, but for the most part, it's not really my bag. Um, but and also when it comes to like found footage films, can't stand that type of horror. For me, it's predominantly slasher.
I have to say, I, out of horror, I gravitate to slasher too. Because they have fun with it. It's all fun.
Exactly.
It's all tongue in cheek. Especially a movie like Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, Cabin in the Woods was a great kind of homage to that.
And
The Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
yeah, I hear that. That's how
That's
it's in
that's
it,
a horror
right?
comedy. It's so good, so good.
And, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to, there's one other one I was thinking of. I'm trying to think of it, but yeah.
One of my favorite things, like this kind of helped me get over my phobia of horror movies, was I watched as much making ofs as I could of like the slasher movies and stuff. And because I find that stuff interesting because it's all visual effects, which is a medium that you don't, or which is a practice you don't see a lot of nowadays. But it was like, okay, what could they come up with? And sometimes they had to come up with stuff on the cheap, on the fly, that ended up being great. So that's kind of the stuff I gravitate towards. It's like, okay, what imaginative kill are we going to get next? And then, oh, how did they do that? That's why I love.
Well, I mean, another great horror slasher trilogy that I watched years ago, the Evil Dead movies. Sam Raimi. Sam
Yeah,
Raimi.
yeah, for sure. I would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
maybe
say I
not.
wouldn't say slasher.
No, I
But
mean,
those are definitely horror films. The first two in particular.
yeah, I wouldn't call it to slasher. You wouldn't?
Well, no, because in a slasher is generally one killer,
Okay,
whereas in Evil
no,
Dead, everyone was getting possessed.
that's it. But okay, I was thinking more of a cabin in the woods type of thing.
Even
But
that's not a slasher. That's just a straight up send off of horror films.
right, okay, yeah.
Like Tucker and Dale versus Evil is kind of a send up of slashers because it's got a lot of the similar tropes.
How about what's that zombie one? I Am Legend. Is that a slasher?
No, that's a horror film.
Yeah.
Like
How
what we're
about
talking, some of the people that we're gonna have on this tier list that we're gonna do are definitely slashers. Like slashers are Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, um, Candyman, Ghostface Killer.
okay? Out of all these slashers, do you have a favorite kill?
A favorite kill?
Yeah.
Holy
Favorite kill.
shit! Wow. Way to put me on the spot on that one.
Well, I have
Actually,
one.
yeah, I do. It's in Friday the 13th, part 2, I believe it is.
Okay.
There is a gentleman in one of the victims. He is in a wheelchair, and the kill, Jason hits him in the head with a cleaver, or machete, sorry. So he gets in his head, and then he kicks him down the stairs. That's definitely that's one of them. From the Freddy Krueger franchise, there's one that has always stuck out to me because I saw it in the back of the VHS tape when I was a kid. In part 4,
Okay.
in the 4th one, there is a girl who her mom is like grooming her, like trying to you got to be perfect looking, you've got to be a model, like that type of shit.
Yeah.
So the character's like always watching what she eats, and in her nightmare she dreams that she is at a dinner, and out of nowhere Freddy pops up and he just keeps stuffing food in her face
Oh God.
to the point like her cheeks just like but big time.
Oh.
And then the kid she basically explodes her to death.
I
There's
think
also a really creepy one involving a cockroach in part 5.
I think my favorite kill is in Silence Play 3. It's when Chucky is in the general's office. He goes to kill him, and then General has a fucking heart attack. And Chucky's like, what are you fucking kidding me?
That is a great kill. Yeah, I really love the Chucky franchise. Like, I mean, 5 is a pretty low point, and 3 as well, but there's still some enjoyable moments, man. Oh, yeah, three's just it's a Looney Tune cartoon.
You have Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Clark as the main guy, you know. Yeah, I have the top spot for all the Chucky movies. And
Me
the
too.
remake is not half bad.
No, it's not half bad, and they had a great premise to it. Basically, instead of it being the voodoo like you saw in the original, hey, 50. Hey, my man. Yeah, no, what I liked about it is basically like in the original, you had the voodoo aspect. That's how the soul got transferred. This one, it's an artificial intelligence come to life, which is something that you could imagine actually happening. It's 5 a.m. for you, my dude. Hey, you want to come on? I'm kidding. You need to go to sleep, probably.
I think the AI is a little bit more creepier.
It is. Because, I said, that could happen.
And you no longer Doctor Who. I think the creepiest villains are the Nihilant.
Yeah.
Which I thought was all AI, but spoiler alert, I guess they're not.
All right, my dude, you ready to get into this list now, folks? It is not a big list. This is just a pre-built tier, and which means there's actually one killer in here. I have no clue who it is.
Maybe I knew.
Maybe we'll have to find out. But let's do this. All right. So first up, we have the Candyman, the original Candyman. This is not the current one. This was a really good movie. I like it because it's based on an urban legend in the show and in real life. And also it ties with racism pretty much, because the gentleman who becomes Candyman was killed for being black. So
we've only get started. One criteria are we looking for?
Oh yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah.
We'll go how about we'll go quality of kills?
The amount of kills.
Yeah, okay, the amount of kills. The
goofiness of it. Or maybe not.
badassery, because some of these are pretty badass.
Okay.
Yeah.
And really what makes us afraid, and all that is scary in general.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, we got Candyman. So like I said, pretty much based on everything I just said, really good movie. Little weird movie, but definitely good. Have you seen this one, Ben?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What do you think of Candyman?
I like it. I wouldn't put him on the top of the slashers only because, yeah, he killed people in it, but not that many compared to some
No.
other people
Yeah,
in it.
I would probably put him at a high B.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the stuff of my childhood nightmares, Chucky, also known as Charles Lee Ray. For me, he's S.
Yeah, me too. No argument here.
Yeah. So, have you seen all of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Have you seen even Curse and Cult?
No, I haven't seen those two.
Okay, those are actually underrated. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do you have a favorite?
Yeah, my favorite
movie
is 2. I love 2.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with you on that one. 2 is really, really good sequel.
And the opening of them rebuilding the doll might be in my top 5 openings of any movie. I just love that opening.
I would not argue. That is a great way to set up how Chucky comes back, because as we all know, he dies at the end of the first one quite gruesomely. Yeah, there you go, Taco. Part 2, I agree. Yeah. I 100% agree. So we're going S tier then, eh?
Definitely. Yeah.
Next up, we have Ghostface from the Scream franchise.
Okay, I haven't yet seen any of these.
Okay.
So, well, I think I want to now, but not yet.
So I wouldn't put him high up, mostly because it's not the same person under the mask every time.
Okay.
And the reasoning for the people to get behind the mask kind of gets worse and worse as the series goes on.
Well, and also in the franchise more of a sensitivity.
Oh, I think 50 Bruce the Char, is that this one 50? Because that's the only one I don't know who it is.
No, he hit Bruce the Char.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, actually, that is a good point. 50. We should also take motives into consideration. So based on that, actually, I would put Candyman up on A for
okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Good call, 50.
But again, Ghostface. So yeah, like the first movie makes sense because spoilers on a almost 30-year-old movie. The killer Billy is his motive is because Sydney's mom drove his mom to commit suicide, completely ruined his family, and Stu joined in because he's a freaking psycho.
Yeah.
Scream 3's not bad. Scream 3's not bad. I'd say 2 is one of the weaker ones because it was like filmed right afterwards. But yeah, and like I said, the motives just kind of get weaker and weaker from there on. So I would probably put it in a B.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Okay. Next up, we have Hannibal Lecter.
I mean, I haven't seen any of his movies yet, but I know how can you argue anything about that?
Yeah. I would put him at the low end of S, though.
That's fair, but...
Because he doesn't kill that many people. Well, no, I guess throughout there's more of the series besides Silence of the Lambs. Never mind.
Yeah, he's iconic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, so's Ghostface. But I would say Hannibal Lecter's probably more.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Hannibal. If there is a top 3, he's number 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd go with that there. Next up, we have probably the movie that's creeped me out the most, Pinhead from Hellraiser, the Hellraiser franchise. I know, Ben, you haven't seen these.
No, and tell me about it.
I've only seen the first one, but this is body horror to its max. Like, some of the stuff in that first one is just so gross. He's a demon Yeah, he's a demon. He is very iconic, but however, after the first one, the quality of the movies really went downhill, to the point where a lot of them now are just direct to video.
So when you put him C?
Yeah, I would probably do a C with Pinhead.
Okay.
Like, he's got a great look, but he doesn't really have any motives, just because he's a demon that just killed. Like, he comes back to kill people, kind of like a steal your soul type thing. Yeah, so I would definitely put him in C.
Bruce the Shark.
Yes. This one's a little weird being on the list, but hey, whatever.
Well, I mean, I did watch the Shark for the first time a few weeks ago.
Yes.
He did kill a lot of people.
And yeah, and the kills were pretty memorable.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I definitely would put him S tier as well.
Yeah, I'll go with that. High A, maybe low S.
We got a third. Hey, Taco.
Hey,
All right.
Taco.
I wanted to just watch, but I have to correct you so much. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh my God. It's killing me. Like, I was like, hey, honey, can I jump on really quick? She's like, yeah. And I'm like sitting down. And then you said one thing about Billy Loomis that I didn't agree with, and then something about Stu, and I'm like, right, get on. And then you called Pinhead a demon when he's not, and I was like, oh my God, get on, Mark.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, can we go back 3? I'm okay with all your placements. Also, Child's Play 2 is the best Child's Play movie. I agree with you.
I think we're all agreed on that one, yeah.
Okay, Billy Loomis's mom left. She just ditched him. So there's a line in it when he's like, well, my mom's gone too. And she's like, your mom left. My mom's dead. And
but he still blames his mom for
her mom. Yeah.
Her death by being her mom, yeah.
But she didn't kill herself. That's all. It was a small, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying. And also, Stu isn't just a monster. He literally says it. It's peer pressure. And because he loves Billy.
I don't remember that line.
He says it like it's his line. He's like, oh, what's your excuse? Oh, I'm gonna blame this and that. And he's like, peer pressure. That's what I'm gonna. And also, I will have to say, Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher is one of the best performances in a horror movie. He chews the scenery like he hasn't eaten in months. It's so good. Okay, I'm gonna move really quick. But yeah, I think Stu is actually my favorite Ghostface because of that. But so
actually, while I have you here, this one right between Pennywise and Michael Myers, do you know who that is?
Right between Pennywise and Michael Myers.
That one.
Yeah, that's Pumpkinhead.
Is that Pumpkinhead?
That's Pumpkinhead.
Okay, actually, that's one I've never seen before.
All right, well, I'm glad I'm here. I do got to wake up in the morning, so let's rock this out.
Don't worry, this thing is going by fast.
I agree with Chucky on S. I believe we're setting a precedent, though, that almost anything that iconic has to be an S. That's what my problem, my scariness is.
I mean, Ghostface is on B.
I would switch Candyman and Ghostface.
Okay.
Strictly for quality of movie. I haven't seen the newest one, but the first Candyman's amazing. It's fantastic. It's a super underrated 90s.
Really great.
The 2 and 3 are hot garbage.
Okay.
They're like, I wouldn't watch them again. Like, I wouldn't ask anybody to watch them. They're really bad movies.
Well, that's why Pinhead's so low, because I know a lot of
and I'll agree with you on that, and I'll get to that in a sec. But Wes Craven did all 4 Scream movies, and I do think 3 is the worst. Second's fine, and 4 is actually pretty good. Because what's her name? Hannah Pierre, Hannah, the freaking chick from Heroes is in it.
Hannah Carey.
Yeah, the chick who looks like a squirrel. Yeah. Okay. All right, and let's get to Hellraiser really quick. And I do agree, Hannibal Lecter should be an S. It's the only movie on this list that didn't only win 1 Oscar, but it won 5.
That's right.
It won the big 5. Which is just insane. So their Cenobites are not demons technically; they are from a different realm.
Yeah, sorry, I thought they were from hell.
They're from. They later on, because the movies get worse and they don't care about the lore anymore, they do say hell. but it's pretty explicit in the book, which I've read, Hellbound Heart, which is actually really fucking creepy and I
always wanted to read it.
It's good. It's a good listen. I would just listen to it one day if I were you. It gets into a lot of good stuff, and the main character is Kirsty, or not Kirsty, but it's the stepmom, and I like that. I like that she's the main character, and it's about her falling in love with this guy who sexually assaulted her, and it's like really rough. Anyways, he's a Cenobite, and he's specifically what I like about him. And they don't just rip apart and suck down bad people. You have to invite them into your life because you're a sadomasochist. So you're searching for pleasure in pain, and you have to open the lament configuration. Can you tell I haven't done a show in 2 weeks?
I can't.
You have to open the lament configuration, and then they literally do give you the choice of, do you want this? And they say, yeah. And it's like, all right, rip them apart. Like, and it's not just that they're slasher villains. They're a gateway into immense, like, not only pleasure or pain, but like feeling. Like when in the book, Frank, the first guy who does it, who later comes back as a corpse, describes it as orgasming to death. Like he feels everything, like all touch is an orgasm, and he goes back and like almost his life flashes in front of his eyes, and he like empties into his pants as he then gets ripped apart. Like it's like this crazy, literally orgasm explosion. So what I like about him is that at least in the first two, the better ones, it's you have to ask for it. You have to be begging for this, and then Frank escapes, and Kirsty has to do a deal and gives it back. But so I have one more comment, and then we can move on. I'm sorry that I just jumped in and took over.
That's perfectly okay, man. We were looking for a guest.
I was watching it. I was like, "Come on, guy. What? Okay, all right. I'm jumping in." Okay, so can you do this really quick? You got the extra screen, Soda. Yeah. Look up what the other Hellraiser movies are called. Yeah, they are the worst subtitles ever. And there's one of them that I'm going to die when you say it because it's so dumb. Give
me a second to bring it up on Wikipedia.
Oh, so, I got to hear this.
Yeah. Soda, get it going.
Okay, the Hellraiser franchise.
All right, so it's Hellraiser.
Yeah, so we have Hellraiser, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
There you go.
Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno.
All right, let me say, after Bloodline, I think all but one of the movies was not written as a Hellraiser. So after this, the Weinsteins bought it, and they wanted to make another good Hellraiser, but they didn't want to lose the rights, so they just kept taking these really horrible C strips, writing Pinhead into them, and that's why these movies are so bad. Starting with Inferno is the first one like that.
You know who directed Inferno?
It's actually a good director, isn't it?
Yeah, Scott Derrickson, director of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Scott Derrickson. I knew that one of them had like a what? Yeah. Yep. That's awesome. All right, keep going. They get so good.
After Inferno, we had Hellraiser Hellseeker.
Hellseeker.
I think this is the one you're referring to, Taco. Hellraiser Deader.
Yeah, Deader.
Deader.
Deader. Okay.
Lazy.
Yeah, so I do have this. I have to plug somebody. There's a video I listen to about once a year by Cinema for Cynics, I believe is what he's called. And it's like this fat dude with a beard, and he sits next to a skeleton, and he goes, "This bag of bones is Chauncey, and I'm Paul Zigo." And he does a 1.5-hour review of the entire Hellraiser franchise. And I literally listen to it like once a year because the dude's hilarious. But he just freaks out when he's like, "Deader?
You have to send it to me, man. I want to listen to this.
It's a good way to spend an hour because the guy just kills.
Getter. Wow.
It's such a
I love that.
Then you have Hellraiser Hellworld, Hellraiser Revelations, and Hellraiser Judgment, which came out 3 years ago.
Yeah, Judgment is god awful. got up, but it's actually the only one written as a Hellraiser, I believe. Maybe Revelations was as well. But the other one that was technically a Hellraiser script had a nothing budget, and the first half of it is found footage, and it's just so I couldn't do it. I didn't finish it. I haven't watched the last two, but I made it through Deader. All right, so which is I believe thank you. I believe it's a cult called the Deaders.
Oh dear,
and it's so bad.
It sounds bad. God. I don't ever want to watch that.
Definitely check out Cinema for Cynics entire Hellraiser review. I highly suggest. It's one of the best like horror media videos I've ever seen.
Okay, and take your word for it.
Is he a new video every year, or is
no? He did a full. He sat down and did all but Revelations because he did it right before, or not Revelations, Judgment. He did it right before Judgment. And then after Judgment came out, he reviewed Judgment. But the first 6 or whatever, he sits down and does them all. And the dude's hilarious. Chauncey's not too bad either, the skeleton standing next to him. But anyways,
I'll have to look for it.
I watch a lot of horror YouTube.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's why I was so mad when Ben's like, oh, it's slasher. I'm like, I gotta sleep, but I want to talk about a horror movie.
Well, luckily we don't have a big list, so we can
take tiny list. Okay.
Yeah, well, because it was the one that had the least amount that I did not know.
I thought it was gonna be like a normal shooting the breeze with you guys, or we're just gonna bullshit. And I was like, I'm going to bring a page of movies no one's ever heard of. Like, let's talk Blood Rage. Let's talk Pieces. Like, let's move on these really horrible 70s / amazing 70s slashers.
Actually, we could do that as a future episode. We could.
I would love to.
Yeah, we'll do it on one of the weeks where you're not working. And yeah.
There you go. All right, let's move on.
Okay,
Who's
so next up? We have Bruce the Shark.
Bruce the Shark. I mean... Technically, Bruce dies after the first one, right? So
yeah, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, we could just judge it off of the first Jaws.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just an animal. Can we really give him like sophisticated an S? Like he's just a shark.
I'm going to say A.
Yeah, I think A.
Yeah, I was gonna say A too because he doesn't come back more outside of the first one. And yeah, I mean, his kills were pretty great, but
he does get revenge.
Yeah, dear Lord, the premise on that one is like what?
But the best Jaws movie of the whole franchise is Jaws 19.
Yep, directed by Max Spielberg.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Did you ever hear what's his name, Michael Caine's reason why he did Jaws Revenge?
I think it was because he wanted to buy a house.
Oh, yeah, I ruined it. It wasn't a reason. He's like, have you seen that movie? He's like, no, but I saw the house it bought.
Yeah.
And
yeah, great quote.
Zero shame, dude. Like, whatever, I'll do a bad movie.
So next up, we have an icon of the slasher genre, Jason motherfucking Voorhees.
Yeah.
I mean...
For sure. Longevity. Yeah. Lot of memorable kills. The kill count alone.
He actually has the tallest or longest kill count of all of them. His is higher than Michael's, higher than Freddie's, and higher than Leatherface's.
Yeah, because the other two don't really. The other three don't kill. They really don't kill a lot.
They do,
but not in competitiveness.
He has more movies, except for more than Michael. Michael has. Now he definitely has more movies.
But here's a question. Do we count the original Friday the 13th, even though he's not like a killer?
You can count it as a movie, but he's not in it. Yeah, so...
Well, he is at the end.
Oh, when he goes...
Was that really him?
No, because then it would make sense, because a year later, he's a giant man. Oh, no, sorry. It has to be a nightmare. Now that we're on the topic... I have a headcanon, the only way to make these movies make sense. Okay. So, because it doesn't make sense. Even the creators said this doesn't make sense, but they moved through with it anyways.
That's still awesome.
So the first one, Pamela Voorhees is killing people to avenge Jason, right? And then the second one, Jason is alive and is killing people to avenge Pamela. That doesn't make sense. that means that he was just like watching, and he wasn't like, "No, mom, I'm over here, and I'm an adult and stuff." Like she's just okay with it, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So the only way it does make sense is that, and this isn't canon, this is all up here, is that Jason was zombie Jason from the get-go, that he was never alive. Like he died in the lake
as the movies go on.
Yeah, because the first time we see him resurrected is in probably my favorite is Jason Lives.
Yeah, I'm with you there, brother.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. It's got the best humor. Yeah. And the second best Tommy Jarvis. But can you tell I'm a big horror nerd? But anyways,
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Did he really go to space?
Yeah,
does he what?
Canon. Go to space.
Oh yeah. But okay, I'm gonna say one thing. Jason X is fantastic. All right, as a B movie schlock, everybody talks shit about it. It has one of the best kills, and it's most of the movie's self-aware, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
it's like a post-Scream world, so they have to be self-aware. But it's got the nitrous oxide kill or the dry ice kill.
Yeah,
it's so. Ben, have you seen Jason X?
No, I always did the first one.
Let me paint this kill for you because it's amazing, right? So it's like hundreds of years in the future. Jason comes back, right? He like looking around and he's in like a morgue, and there's just like a bathtub of like nitrous oxide or not nitrous oxide, whatever, like dry ice. Yeah. There's just like a liquid nitrogen. There you go.
Okay.
There's just like a bathtub of liquid nitrogen that no one explains. And then he walks up to this chick who is like working on him, takes her by the back of the head, and dips her head in the liquid nitrogen. And you see the camera from inside.
He her face on the counter.
That's after. You're freaking giving it away.
No, I thought he did it before.
No. Maybe, but no, because her face is fine when it freezes. Cut. Yes, we will in a second. He's clearly Cho. But anyways, he dips her head into liquid nitrogen and the camera's inside the water and you see her head like freeze. Yeah. And then he lifts it up, looks at it and goes, bash! And her face like liquefies and shatters. And then he lifts it up again and then it's just like a hollow skull and then just throws the body.
Yeah.
It is one of the best kills.
It really is. It's one of those movies. Like it's a good movie to do a riff track to.
Oh yeah, I would. I would do watch-alongs with horror movies before I would do watch-along with anything else besides Star Wars.
My friends and I did a riff tracks for Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh my god, the toxic waste and the
Canadian
turns him into a baby. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Oh my god, that movie sucks.
I would put him.
He's an ass.
Top F.
Yeah, he's ass. Yeah.
Before Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Mortal Kombat character. Come on.
Yeah.
So are half these people, actually.
Yeah. So the next one is Jigsaw from the Saw franchise. I've only seen the first one.
Okay, I've seen them all. Are we just going John Kramer? Or are we going the idea of Jigsaw? John Kramer's the killer. He's still the mastermind after he's dead, except for in Jigsaw and in Spiral. But he is kind of the person behind a lot of the murders later on, but he doesn't set up the traps because he's dead. He's literally dead. But the guy has a folders of who to frickin' saw trap later on. But John Kramer as a character is fascinating. Mm-hmm. And you don't know him. He's just a guy who laid in the basement or laid in between them in the first one because they don't actually get into his character. But his idea is very Old Testament Christian of suffering to find how's a good way to say it? Yeah, but it's caring about life again after suffering, and that's kind of like a big. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know a lot of Doctor Who was horror. I'm still not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it now just because you guys want me to too much. I'm a contrarian. Yeah. Anyways, I do like John Kramer as a character, but his disciples literally start to make unwinnable traps. And I do like that, but it literally goes against everything he's trying to do, which is make you want to survive and to test human survival. And later on, it just becomes torture porn.
I won't put him in B.
Yeah, he's definitely higher than C. In fact, I would put Pinhead, if we count all the movies, in D. But that's just.
I'm fine with that.
No, put him back up to C. Somebody's gonna see this and get mad. But all the movies, Deader, come on.
Yeah. Next up, we have the second part of the slasher film Holy Trinity, Freddy Krueger. I love Freddy Krueger. I love these movies to pieces just because of how campy they get and the kills. The kills, man, are so imaginative in these movies.
Even in the bad ones.
Oh, for sure. Like Breckin Meyers' character dies in a video game.
Oh my God, you had to bring up the Power Glove.
I know, it's so ridiculous, but it's memorable.
Now I'm playing with power.
Yeah. Or like the cockroach one with the one girl weightlifting, and then
that's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's some nasty body horror. This girl slowly turning into a cockroach, but it's when
the fly. Yeah,
but when she's holding the barbells and he forces them down and her elbows break out. Like it's so good.
That one.
Yeah, you have to put Freddie S. I do wish I could say because of the movies that are really bad, knock him down, but he's even okay for the most part. Like, and also, how cool is it that all besides the reboot, it's Robert Englund and all of them. Like that's what's awesome, and he's such a thespian, and he's so good at what he does.
Yeah, and for me, like I only think if you look at the Robert Englund Freddy movies, I only think there's one bad one, like really bad one, and that's Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, Freddy's Dead is god awful, but the one before that, is 5 Dream Warriors? No. 5 is
Dream Warriors. 5 is Dream Child.
Yeah, Dream Child's bad. It's got like the freaking kid from Jurassic Park, and he's like a little Freddy. He's like, I want to be like you. I want to be bad now. It's like it's so cringy.
Yeah, I also remember he was on the back of the VHS cover, and just the visage of him like all melted really creeped me out.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
I'm really going to say Freddy is the one character I'm afraid to see any of his movies. I just can't fathom what it's like for thing to live inside your nightmares.
I
get it.
Yeah. I mean, he's somebody I went to later on in my life. Chucky, I grew up on. Michael, I grew up on, and it wasn't until I got in the Dead Meat channel, who does kill counts. If you guys have never watched kill counts on Dead Meat, you kind of have to. They're kind of amazing. But he cuts through. James A. Janisi, actually, him and his fiance Chelsea actually played in the horror exhibition Schmodown against Draco and John Riley, or Mark Riley. And James A. Janisse, he's kind of like a staple to YouTube for me now, especially in the horror community. Like, he's so big that the horror community rejects him because he's so big. Like, he's at that point where they're like, oh, him? It's like, oh, why? Because he's doing so good.
You need Weeping Angels, but he's right. Their episodes get worse and worse as they go on.
I've only watched a couple episodes of Doctor Who, and there are definitely horror elements. Like,
the Weeping Angels are probably the biggest one.
Isn't there a lot of body horror in...
No.
Oh, I thought there was like episodes where there's like some weird body horror stuff.
Nothing compared to what we're talking about, really.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I came on to Freddie last, and he was like kind of my least favorite because I didn't get to him at the right time. But the funny thing is, the more I now, because I'll watch him every once in a while. Still, I'll do that to almost all of these, and like 2. Which is one that everyone dislikes. I love it because it's so weird.
Friday the 13th, or no?
Sorry, no.
whatever.
I thought they had a nickname for it, but yeah, basically it's considered the homoerotic Friday Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, the actor blamed that movie for forcing him to come out because he wasn't out yet. But the movie was so gay, and he didn't realize the movie was so gay that
I don't think
everyone's like,
anybody really did when they were making it.
yeah, but he goes to a gay bar, and then the coach is there in full leather, and then punishes him for going to the bar by making him run laps, but the coach doesn't change out of his leather gimp suit. So he got this leather gimp wearing coach like, run those laps! Like, so what the
it's so freaking out there, and then the parakeet from hell.
Yeah. What I like about that one is I actually do like the final boy in that, but I like that he's a scream queen. That he high-pitched screams, and it's I love it. My
personal favorite is the third one, Dream Warriors.
Everybody's is.
For me, it's a lot to do with the quality of the kills. Plus, I'm a big fan of the band Dokken who did the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah,
in that one.
Dream Warriors is one of the best is one of the best singles tied to a movie I've ever heard.
Okay. Yeah, and also it has one of the most iconic Freddie lines of all time.
Yeah, welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yep. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah. And
they have Freddie turning the one guy into a marionette.
Oh,
that's a creepy kill.
Nasty.
Yeah. Basically, Ben, he takes his tendons and he turns them into a marionette, and he puppet walks him to the top of a tower and then cuts the strings and the guy falls.
So he's attacking them in a mental institution because all third place horror movies take place in either a hospital or mental institution. It's weird. A lot of them do.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he wants them all to look like suicides. So he has one that looks like a slit wrist, and then one where the guy jumped off, but he literally, and it looks just, the body horror is so good in Friday the 13th.
The physical effects in that are amazing. And then you had the one girl who was made to look like she OD'd. She's a drug addict. Yeah.
Oh, and that's when he has the gloves that are the syringes.
All instead of knives, Ben, it's fucking syringes, and he sticks it into her arm.
Oh, in her okay. I'm gonna.
Okay, I think we should move on. I just saw.
No, wait. Her little freaking holes. What do they call that? Where you stick it?
Yeah.
Turn into little
suckers.
Yeah, they turn into little mouths, wanting the drugs. It is so fucking visceral.
Which one is Johnny Depp in?
The first one.
First one. And one of the best kills of horror history.
And they cut more. They cut more out of that, eh?
Because it's electric. It started shit on fire. It hit electrical wires and shocked.
No, they actually filmed Johnny Depp's character coming out of the bed and collapsing.
What?
Yeah, they filmed it. It's in the behind. It's in every document.
I never see that. I just heard that it hit all the electrical units and it shot somebody.
They actually had him come out, and then when he's like fully out, he just collapsed on the bed.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Also has something they do 3 other times, but her lifting up because he's taking her out, like lifting her out of bed, and you just see her lift and get cut. And the coolest version of that, I have to give Wes Craven's New Nightmare a lot of credit. I actually really like that one.
Movie.
Yeah. But it flips back and forth from one person who's just seeing her body like get drugged up a wall, but it flips to a person who's also in the dream, and you see Freddie wearing an overcoat, like dragging this chick up the wall and onto the ceiling as he's stabbing her. Such an insane kill.
It is. I'm glad they did that. In the first one that they used that room twice, once for Tina's death and then once
for Johnny Depp.
Because it's the only way they could do the blood thing.
Yeah, don't quiz me on horror, man. Don't fight with me here.
Well, next up we've got
lightsaber forms in horror. That's the 2 things you back off.
You got it, boss. Next up we have arguably first slasher icon.
Yeah. Oh, that's on this list. He's the earliest one on this list. Yeah.
Leatherface. I can't put him at S because of the movies that came after that very first one. But
he's got more bad movies, or he's got more good movies than some people on this list, because I do think the second one is a weird, so bad it's good, like culty awesomeness. But
that's the one with the Breakfast Club pose, right? Or is that the third one?
That's the third one.
Okay.
No, the second one is it like introduced Bill Moseley, who's a legendary horror actor, but it's the one with Chop Tops itching his scalp off because he's got the metal, and it ends with Dennis Hopper with a chainsaw having a chainsaw fight with Leatherface until grenades blow them up. What's not to love about that sentence? And the whole time he's like pelvic thrusting his chainsaw because it's phallic now.
Okay.
I like the second one, but also you have to thank the remake of the craze of remakes in the early 2000s, because the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake by Platinum Dunes,
with Jessica Biel in it,
fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I agree. It's one of the better remakes for sure.
Oh,
that one and Friday the 13th, I think, are the two best remakes.
And I think it's like the second best Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Go ahead, Ben.
So he came before Michael Myers?
Yeah, by a good 7 years or something.
Yeah, quite a bit. I don't have the years memorized right now. He's not credited as the first slasher because he's not a slasher as much, but because usually one would call Halloween what birthed the slasher craze. Although what I would love to have on here is, although you don't ever see him, he doesn't have a face, but you could find the eye, would have been Billy from My Bloody, or not Bloody Valentine, Black Christmas. The first Black Christmas is amazing, and I think it's better than Halloween. I think it's
really.
Oh yeah. Black Christmas is definitely better than Halloween. I think it's the best 70s slasher.
I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I have heard good things about it.
We talked last time I was on Shooting the Breeze. We talked about that the director.
Yeah, it's Bob Clark.
It's Bob Clark. Bob Clark made Black Christmas and then Christmas Story
and Porky's.
What's this dude? What is this guy?
Yeah, I looked it up. There's 4 years between Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, and the original Halloween.
Yeah, and then Black Christmas would have been a year before Halloween.
Yes.
So, but
Ben?
No, I really understand. So, what you put them asking here?
Are we just talking about their iconic status or how they are as characters? What criteria are we going here?
Basically, those and the quality of the movies.
Yeah, well, the first one's like a 9.5 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the best directed movies. It's so creepy. Yeah. Like, the cinematography is terrifying. It's like not a thing normally, but it is. But yeah, the second one's like cult classic good. Yeah. It's also what they're watching in the remake of the new Child's Play. Is they're watching the second.
That's right. Yes.
They're watching a weird cut out of sequence. I noticed it in the theaters. I'm like, that's not even the right sequence. Fuck this movie. But and then the third one is super forgettable. It's just called Leatherface, and no one remembers it. Although he does actually get a golden chainsaw in it. That's cool. Yeah. And then in the fourth one was so horrible that they shelved it and they never wanted anybody to see it ever. And then Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger blew up. Yep. So then the people were like, hey, we have a shitty horror movie from like 4 years ago with both these guys in it. So they then put it out as Texas Chainsaw, the Next Generation or New Beginning.
Yeah.
Next Generation. It had two titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they re-released it like, hey, look, we got Matthew McConaughey. His performance in that is something of a cocaine freaking field. What the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, I've only seen clips. It's like, dear God, it's like Nicolas Cage level.
Oh, it's more insane. Like he does like a Tuscan Raider thing a lot in it. It's super weird. They're like trying to drive away. Like Renee Zellweger and her friends get into this car, and instead of like just jumping on it, he goes like as he screams. It's so what the fuck.
Yeah.
And then nothing for a while. The remake, which was really good. The remake prequel, which is weird. And then they made two other ones that are like kind of really crap movies at this point. So quality of movies, like, you know, you got two really good movies in there.
Yeah, so I would put them in an A, to be fair.
Can I? can I keep talking? Leatherface himself bugs me because he's mentally ill, because he is easily developmental. He can't speak. He's usually played.
Is it inbreeding?
It's not said whether or not they're inbred. They're cannibals for sure, but we don't know if they're inbred. It's just never stated. I mean, sure, why not? But the reason why they're cannibals is the highway was built away from their town, so people stopped going through their town, so all service industries broke and everybody left, so they had to shut the meat market. So in order to eat, because no one had jobs anymore, they switched to cannibalism. So it's the first movie is a really cool social commentary of gentrification and cities ruining small towns and highways, doing that, but which I really liked, but it's never stated that he's inbred at all. Okay. But I don't like that he's portrayed as, somebody with developmental issues and somebody who's with special needs, and they kind of yell at him and treat him like a dog. And it sits bad for me nowadays when I rewatch it. Sure. Like, it's weird to me. Like, I'm like, come on, man. This is like, I don't think it would fly nowadays. You can't have, like,
where would you put him? He-Man?
I mean, I love him. I love the first one so much, and I just like Leatherface as, like, he's just so terrifying.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Just got somebody's face on him, and he's running at you with a chainsaw, screaming, and he's like built like a linebacker. He's fucking terrifying. But I don't know. I can't say. I feel like I'm betraying horror fandom for putting anything lower than an A, but at the same time, I made good points.
Well, I'm comfortable with an A. I really am.
Yeah,
okay. Let's put them in A then.
Yeah.
It would be weird to put any of those four under A. Like, yeah. All right.
And next up, we have the third in the holy trinity of horror icons. The one who kicked off the slasher horror movie phase.
The big craze.
The big craze as we know it. Michael Myers from Halloween.
Yeah. John Carpenter's, top 5 directors for me of all time. Like, favorite horror director because he made my favorite horror movie.
The Thing.
Right here, I got it right here. It's the only DVD I have in my background. But yeah, It's kind of hard to watch now because you could tell how low budget it was and how much padding. So much of the movie is like a car fully driving out of scene, and then it flips. Like, we didn't have to hold that on for another 2 minutes, because they had to push it to 90 minutes because nothing really happens.
I didn't watch it for the
I was about to
first
say,
time.
you just watched it.
Yeah.
And I was picked out the whole movie. So, I mean, it worked for me.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just saying there's a lot of padding. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I love it. I think it's amazingly directed, and something that he does in Halloween and something that he does a lot is he loves his big shots. Carpenter shows you the room, and that's one thing I like because a lot of people don't do that. Yes, it is a William Shatner mask. Good job, 50. But a lot of people don't give you the set, and that's one thing. He makes the world so live-inable because we see it. And it's something that he does in Halloween where by the third act, where all these different babysitters are, one's across the street from the other, one's here. And he builds this neighborhood for you because of the way it's shot. He shows it to you. So he sets up that third act. So when Michael shows up and starts killing all the babysitters, you have the whole mapped out. It's such a cool directing style. Or cinematography style.
What do you think of the movies that follow the first one?
Oof. Can run them down quick.
I personally enjoy how they were the first Halloween 2.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not amazing. I don't like Luke Skywalkered it. I don't like that we have to make them siblings. Yeah. And that's something that they later got rid of. Just like how I famously don't like that in Star Wars. I don't like that Luke and Leia are related. But we have to move on. It happened 40 years ago.
3, nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Yeah. But I love. All right, wait. Season of the Witch is great. It is so weird.
The only thing against it is this called Halloween 3.
Yeah, Well, they always want to do anthology films,
Yeah.
is what they originally wanted to do. But since Michael Myers was such a big thing,
Yeah,
and he blew up as a culture icon, they said, "Hey, let's do a second one first."
Yeah.
And then John Carpenter's like, "Cool, can I do my anthology?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then everyone's like, "Where's my Michael?" But yeah, you're right. I don't need to talk about Season of the Witch here because we're talking about Michael Myers.
4, 5, and 6 are not the best.
Okay, 4 is okay because Jamie Lloyd, played by, I normally know her name.
Oh, Danielle
Harris.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite little kid in horrors, like up there with Andy Barkley. And the first one she's in is good, which is 4. I like Return of Michael Myers a lot. Revenge of Michael Myers, like, I actually watched it a lot more when I was a kid. It was like one we rented, and it like sticks out to my mind. There's like a kill that I'll always think about because I was a little kid, and a little like a teenage chick just got her boobs got out, and I got to see him, and then a pitchfork went through her boyfriend. And I remember like it was the first time I saw death when I had a boner, like a little 10-year-old boner. So it still sticks out to me of like, this is weird to me.
That was me in Halloween too.
Like the freaking nerves in the bathtub or the hot tub. Yeah. Okay. And then Curse of Michael Myers is the worst Halloween film.
Yes, I agree. Have you
by
seen
a lot? It's still bad.
Okay, I actually have it. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't. I want to watch it.
It's coherent.
Yeah.
But so it went from being an incoherent shit movie to a coherent shit movie. So there's that. At least you know it's shitty now instead of just being confused.
Yeah. And then after that, you had Halloween H2O, which was the first one.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Yep. I love H2O a lot. Jump in, Ben, whenever you want. I'm never gonna interrupt me.
I don't always see the first one.
Okay. I keep thinking I'm gonna look at I'm gonna get out of full screen and look at the private chat, and it's just gonna say shut the fuck up, Taco. I missed you guys. That's what this is. I really did. I really did. Those 8 graveyard shifts fucking sucked. It sucked.
So what after H2O? What was
Halloween Resurrection, which is just slightly above Curse of being the worst Halloween.
It's a fun concept, but a shitty movie. Like the idea behind it, I kind of like the idea of the serial killer house, but it just was poorly executed.
Busta Rhymes kung fu's Michael Myers to death. That's his canonical death in that timeline. Is Busta Rhymes hemming to death. Yep. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing that it happened. It's not good that it happened. And then we got
we had
zombie reboots.
The first one, the director's cut, is a passable film for me.
Yeah.
The director's cut.
I have the same complaint about this that I do for almost all Rob Zombie movies, is that I hate that every character is a hillbilly rapist. Like, every character is a rapist for some reason, and they're all hillbillies, and they're all pieces of shit.
Is this the one with the guy from Supernatural, or am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking of, like 3 horror remakes, because which guy from Supernatural?
Was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, the remake of Friday the 13th has taller one, Sam, then the remake of
My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine had Dean,
which I saw in 3D, by the way. It was so much fun to watch in 3D.
Also, then the remake of House of Wax has Sam.
Jared Padalecki.
And I always want to call Jared Padalecki Dean because I've seen Gilmore Girls way more than I've seen.
Wait, who is Sam and who is Dean?
Sam is Jared Padalecki, the tall one. Dean is Jensen Ackles.
Okay.
Yeah. But the funny thing is because Dean, or what's his name? Jen Smackles? What you just call him? Jensen Ackles is like 6'5", but he's huge. But Jared Padalecki's like 7 feet, so he looks like the tall one. But really, they're both monsters.
They're both
one's
big.
a little more Luigi. Yeah.
What did you think of the latest Halloween that just came out?
There's this thing that movies can do, and that is a large one take. And I'm usually happy if you give me like a really good beautiful tracking shot. Like the cinematographer in me, I love really good shots. I care so much about cinematography. And yeah, there's that really awesome shot where it starts with him on the sidewalk and he runs into the kid's dress from the third one and then goes into a girl's house, steals her knife, kills her, looks at a baby, and you think he's going to kill. No, he kills an old lady, takes her knife, goes into the other person's house, kills the old lady, and looks at the baby, and you're like, he's going to kill a baby. He's going to fucking do it. And then he does it, and then turns out, like, all one shot. It's like 3 minutes.
It's a great one shot, for sure.
Yeah. I think it's fine, and especially if you compare it to other Halloween movies, it's good.
I found it fun.
Yeah, but there's a lot of plot holes, and there's a lot of shit I don't like in it. Like, I don't like fake Loomis, and
I will say when he died, I was shocked.
I was so glad he was out of the.
It's like, holy shit, Michael crushed his skull in with his boot.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome.
He stomped him to death.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome stomp. Not my favorite stomp on this list because in Cult of Chucky, older Andy Barkley curb stomps a Chucky doll and his skull explodes into red blood, and it's so good. It's so good.
Hey, Andy in that one.
Original Andy.
Oh, really?
Alex Vincent, yeah,
Alex Vincent comes back for a tag at the end of Curse, and then in the entirety of Cult.
Yeah.
Well,
Third act of Cult.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to watch her show?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What?
There's a Chucky show coming out in that timeline.
Yeah, and I like that. I like the trailer a lot.
Yeah.
I hope that they ease their way back into that timeline because that timeline is so fucked. like there's Andy Chucky's walking around. There's a handicapped chick with Chucky inside her now. Like it's all kinds of weird shit happening.
Played by Brad Dourif's real life daughter, which I think is genius.
Oh yeah, Fiona Dourif. Who
genius.
Who has ever looked at like Brad Dourif and they were like, that as a female would be hot?
Yeah,
because it is. she looks just like him, and she's shagadelic, baby. Like so. I broke Ben. I broke Ben.
Yep, I think you did.
Would it have been better if I did it as Brad Dourif from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? If I just got my inner stutter and did it as Billy Bibbit?
Oh my lord!
Incidentally, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I did watch that months ago for the first time. Great movie.
You said you've seen it one time?
Watched it for the first time.
Oh God, I'm glad you did. I might read it soon, but I've been watching a lot of villain profiles. I watched a lot of YouTube.
Really, you know what I'm saying?
Weird. But there's a guy who does called Vile Eye who actually covered most of the people on this list. But his breakdown of Nurse Ratched is so good. He breaks down her villainy so well in that movie, and also I love that movie so much. And they made like a Nurse Ratched as the good guy TV show, and I
heard about that. Yeah,
I refuse. I won't do it. It bugs me so much. All right, and this is what we're talking about, right? It's shooting the breeze on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So
Michael's A, but I'd put him, I think, between either Freddie and Chucky, because I think he's a top three. Like, I think you should either put him between Freddie and Chucky or between Jason and Freddie. And if this was my personal list, Chucky would be number one, but it's not.
I agree. I'm perfectly content between Freddie and Chucky.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, next up, you're gonna have to take the lead on this one because I've never seen one of these movies. Pumpkinhead.
All right, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
If we follow we're counting all the direct-to-DVD horrible sequels. I mean, it's an F, but the first one's passable, nasty slasher, and the second one's also pretty good, and then it's all just tripe from there on out. But it's all comes down to the makeup and the animatronics, and it is one of the best designed nasty xenomorph giant. And there's a great head ripoff from the second one that I had to re-watch as an adult because it viscerally. I watched all these movies as a kid.
Oh, okay.
And I remember it totally fucking with me.
Much.
I watched so much horror. My mom didn't care what we watched. I know I've told that to Soda.
Evidently.
Yeah. I had Shawshank Redemption memorized when I was like 6 years old. That movie has prison rape in it. Why was I even watching it? Anyways, but there's this kill in 2 where he grabs this like biker greaser dude's head and just like does that a couple times and then just goes and rips it off. And I remember watching it as a kid, and in my memory bank, it's like one of the best effects of all time. And I rewatched it, and it isn't. Like, it's done super cheap, and like it touches his head, and it moves a couple times, and it like flips away, and then it comes up, and the head's being removed. So it's not well done. But the design of Pumpkinhead himself, and there's a lot of he like avenges people, like he's a demon of vengeance, like somebody could have wronged you, so you pray to Pumpkinhead, and Pumpkinhead comes up and just murders everybody. And
this is the great pumpkin Linus has been talking about.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I got a rock. So
because he's always saying you got to pray to the great pumpkin.
Did you get my I got a rock joke?
Yeah, no, I got it. Charlie Brown, yeah.
All right, cool.
Poor Charlie Brown. So where would you put him then, Taco?
I mean, D. We've been pretty hard on a couple of these guys because I didn't want all the top. Like everyone who's an A, you can make an argument should be an S, and everyone everyone in B, you can make an argument it's an A or even S. So I want to be a little hard on people and knock down, so we actually can have somebody in D and F.
Yeah.
So being that I was so hard on Leatherface, Pumpkinhead doesn't deserve higher than D.
No, for sure. And like if you look at the people on this list, like he's easily the least memorable.
Yeah.
Like everyone else, you have a good idea if you don't know who they are. That one, it like myself, it just totally threw me.
If I didn't jump on, what were you guys gonna do?
I would have not put him on. I wouldn't have ranked him.
Oh my! And you guys blew through the first 4. This would have been like a 10-minute video.
It would have been.
The time it took for me to get downstairs, you guys were like, "Ghostface, all right, cool. All right, Hannibal, all right, cool." I was like, "What? Get on!"
So finally, we have the killer clown from Stephen King, Pennywise. Now with this one, this is clearly the Tim Curry version in the picture.
Yeah, the miniseries. Yeah.
The miniseries. Now, would we also take in consideration the movie versions that we just saw?
We were taking reboots into consideration before. Absolutely.
I would put him at a high B.
Ben?
B sounds good.
All right. Well, I was gonna argue for S, but
No, that's the thing. Go ahead and argue.
Yeah,
the reason why I put it so low is because I'm not a big fan of the Tim Curry version.
Okay, and also I've read the book, so it's all.
I've tried to read the book.
It's not easy. It took me 4 or 5 times.
44 hours for the audiobook.
Is that it?
Many is it?
Uh,
It's 1,000 pages, I think. It's pretty thick.
And the funny thing is, it's a lot of it's hard to get through because of what's going on. Like there's so much, and I
King wrote it while he was on cocaine.
Yeah, wrote between his lines. There's a Joker Pennywise epic rap battle. So that's yeah. It is, but he's I'm the crown prince of crime. You're a sewer dreaming that Stephen King wrote between his lines because he was doing some
because he was snorting cocaine.
Yeah. But there's the character Patrick Hostetter who I think you kind of see a little bit in the newer one, and I don't think he's at all in the miniseries. It makes
I would think you see him a little bit. I'd say he's a pretty prominent part of that first one.
You're thinking of Henry Bauer.
Well,
the main villain.
Hostetter, isn't that one of the cronies?
He's one of the cronies, but he's not one of the cronies in the miniseries. I don't think.
Yeah,
and if he is, then they don't do him.
I'm talking like in the Andy Muschietti films, because I mean,
yeah. He's the one who looks like the young Kylo Ren. Yeah,
the one who becomes the zombie. Yeah.
And
yes, 50, we are taking both Tim Curry and Alexander.
Yeah.
No, what's his name? Sarsgaard.
Bill.
Not Alexander.
Bill?
Yeah, it's Bill.
Bill Skarsgård, yeah.
Yeah. Stellan.
Actually, did you ever see the meme of Skarsgård showing Bill Hader that could actually do the thing with his eyes?
Yeah.
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 Like Bill Hader said, like that legit freaked me out.
What was I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so Patrick Hostetter in the book makes Henry Bowers look like a lame little school bully. He is so insane. He like murders his baby brother and tries to do like it's essentially comes on to Henry Bauer. I'm not going to say what it is, but he
no, I knew about that.
Tries that I did this, and now you know what I'm doing. But then Henry Bauer's like, hey, I'm not really into you doing that for me, and he's like, cool. If you tell anyone, I'm going to murder your entire family, and Henry Bauer's like, cool. so like he's why I can't make it through the book. Is that like his part is so hard to get through, and he like and he's like murdering local pets and watching them get eaten by insects, and it's just so like, what are we doing here? But yeah. So, anyways, I just had to touch on the book really quick. I think Bill Skarsgård is one of the best performances on this entire list.
Agreed.
Maybe Brad Dourif's voice acting might be better, but that's kind of it. Like a lot of these, or Tony Todd. Tony Todd in the first Candyman.
And Robert Englund. Let's not forget him. Yeah,
but I would put Skarsgård over Robin Englund when it comes to performance. Oh, never mind. We got a Best Picture nominated and one Best Actor on here for that part. All right. Well, besides Hannibal freaking Lecter, but he's so good in it, and I don't feel like any version got the book right, but it's not Pennywise's fault. Like Pennywise is still an iconically terrifying, amazing.
What you remember from whatever version you watch, and I still like seeing the first It movie, not the miniseries, the movie in theaters is still one of my favorite experiences. You could feel the electricity in the air with the way people were screaming and stuff. Like it was movie magic.
I never in a million years thought they would actually show what happens to Georgie. Like never, because it's not even said in the book. Like you just know his arm got ripped off, but you're pretty sure you know what happened. So even King, who gives you horrible stuff in that book's like, I'm not going to tell you what happened to the 5-year-old. Like I'm going to leave that up.
What happened?
When Pennywise bites his arm off, and that's how the movie opens.
Yeah. Like Pennywise rips his arm off and then pulls him into the sewers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That murder is the impetus for all the kids getting together, trying to ending up in the sewers and running into Pennywise because they're trying to figure out what happened to Georgie.
His performance in that scene when he's in the sewer. Hiya, Georgie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is so
I really
terrifying.
Want to go back and rewatch that. Yeah, the whole movie is terrifying.
Yeah, I really like the first. I really
in the garage,
like
and it's like the lights blink, and every time it's Pennywise keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. Like that just scared the shit out of me in theaters.
Yeah. Again, I don't think that they did the book 100% justice because there's just so much, and it's hard to. It's a 1,000-page book. But they do change things, and I'm okay with omitting things, but like changing things that I felt like were really important for certain characters and things like that. But again, none of that has anything to do with Pennywise, and I feel like at least the first half got Pennywise super right. And I don't know. I want to argue because I mean he's a fear demon. He's like the reason why my wife won't watch those movies, any of them. Because just Tim Curry scarred her so much.
Yeah, it's like seeing a picture of Max Schreck as Nosferatu. It's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would put Pennywise in S.
I'm glad I talked you out of B, you psychopaths.
Yeah, no, I would put him in S.
Oh,
I want him in S.
Yeah.
At the lower end of S.
I put him. I think bottom of S is totally fine because it's just so stacked. It's hard to consider him better than Hannibal Lecter. But no, I'm very happy with this. I kind of wish there was like 50 more characters on it. But
okay, so out of all of these, which one's your favorite? Like
Chucky.
Character.
Chucky.
Chucky, yeah.
Chucky.
Yeah.
Chucky, for me, it's Chucky, Freddie, Jason, Pennywise.
Chucky, Jason, Ghostface, Hannibal Lecter right after.
Chucky, Jason, Michael for me.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't give Ghostface enough time, but I do love those
the
movies.
thing with Ghostface, though, it's like in every movie, it's a different killer.
It's a different-
so you have to recount every backstory, right? And so
Yeah.
for me, that's kind of what brought him down a little bit for me.
It's I guess it's just the quality of movies, and that's like where it comes. I think if the third one is your worst movie in a franchise, even though it's a bad movie,
yeah,
I'll take it over Hellraiser, Hell from Hell, Hellview, whatever the fifth one was.
Deader.
Yeah, Deader.
That's wow.
I know.
Deader.
Is when you guys moved past Hellraiser, I'm like, I gotta tell them about Deader. You gotta get out of here. It would have been fine if I didn't jump on. If I just didn't do it at all, it would have moved. But a minute into watching you guys, I was like, hey, honey, you mind if I jump on? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for saving our ass.
Oh, man. I'm surprised you guys tried to tackle it.
I might be dead, but he's dead.
And on that note, thank you, Taco, for hopping on and crashing, very much appreciated crashing the stream.
Do what I can.
Yeah. So when you're not working long ass shifts, where can everybody find you?
Well, a week from this weekend, I will return. I'll make my probably not graceful, probably going to use the F word a lot, return back to the Schmoes of the North. So a week from this next coming Saturday, I will be on. We'll bring our Star Wars show back, and I believe we're going to do an Alien game. I think it's going to be your first week, and then after that, we're going to do the week after that. We're going to do a tier list for all the canon, not all of them, but 28 of the canon lightsaber fights. So
I'm in for a long night that night.
It's going to be a fun one.
I'm here for you.
You know what I get to talk about that day? Forms.
Yeah. Taco heaven.
Hey, but also I made a compromise. I said canon. I don't get to talk about my really favorite ones.
That's true.
Dead is good, but can it be deader? But deader is better. That's a Pet Cemetery reference. All right. Oh, what about you guys? Where can everyone
find you? I just wasn't sure if you were done plugging.
No, that's it. I just do a couple shows here and there.
Yep, there you go, Ben.
You can find me here on this channel. If you're in the weeds, recapping. What else do we get ready? What else do we do? I think that's everything.
There's also Schmodown Night in Canada, which you pretty much do the Sunday shows.
Yeah.
And lately the Friday shows.
In fact, this is Mr. Schmo of the North now.
Pretty much. He's the MVP.
The face of the channel.
Yeah, he's the MVP.
I'm taking Sunday off.
Mount Schmodown, let's not forget that one.
Yep.
Oh, not Schmodown. No? You remind me of not Schmodown. Schmodown who I do every cover plays, careers. Only this summer we're doing practices, this week we're doing swag. It's going to be a fun one.
Swag, drip, drip, baby.
Yeah.
And as for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter. It's soda_the_saxman. You can find me on pretty much every goddamn show on this channel except for Mount Schmodown, although I do appear on there frequently as a guest. And it's always a fun time when I do. And you can find me producing the Star Wars show. You can also find me on the Squared Slice, which is my wrestling show I do every week, where we just talk about things from the past about wrestling. So on behalf of myself, Taco, and Ben, thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. And don't forget, everybody.
Sorry, I was going to say don't get murdered because we did a slashy thing.
I would say in my head, I'm trying to think of a good sign up involving slashy, but pretty much don't get slashed.
Yeah, I mean, any night, you don't get dead.
Oh yeah, don't get deadered. That's pretty good. Actually, let's just steal the goodbye for from the most famous true crime podcast. Stay sexy, don't get murdered. I came up with that right now. That's not for